Across the valleys,
From Blaina, Wales,
the green arrows on the air. Broadcasting live
the Green Arrow Show.
from Blaina, Wales.
Shivery timbers.
Splice the main brace.
Good evening, folks.
Welcome aboard.
Across the valley.
From Blaina, Wales,
Thanks for tuning in today. Until we meet again.
farewells
And following seas,
Steady as she goes.
safe journey home.
This has been
the Green Arrow Show.
from Blaina, Wales.
Until next time.
Goodbye for now.
Thanks for tuning in, folks. It's been a pleasure having you aboard. Until next time, take care of yourselves, fair winds, and goodbye for now.
Oh, great. I've got the outro in the playlist.
Right, just finished this one last bit.
Oh,
3:47 in the morning. Early start then. Normal people call it sleep deprivation. I call it Tuesday. There we go.
Hi, Alan.
Upload done.
Kirsty,
Ooh, this one's going
Sebastian.
viral. I can feel it. Or I've just had too much tea.
Should
Come on,
drink
then.
coffee.
Ooh, hang on. It's actually moving. Get in.
Hi, Mel.
Told you I knew this one were a belter. Right,
And I
where's me
played the
millions then?
outro.
Right, leave it alone, Kev. Don't keep checking it. Just one little refresh. That's not exactly rocketing anymore, is it? Yes, get in! We're viral, baby! To Kev! Right, just checking the numbers, though. Can't leave them unattended. Channel performance detected. Monitoring. Control. We have detected unusual activity. Channel Key VK57. He appears to be uploading again. Again? Yes, he's been doing it for years. We've got a situation. How serious? Channel Key V57. He's uploaded another video. Another one? Yes, the man appears to have ideas. Kev K57 throttle control. Reducing engagement levels. Operation complete. Should we tell him? No, he'll probably make another video. Morning then. Right. Where's everyone gone? Yesterday we were taking off. Today we're parked in a labie. Internet's a
Perfect.
funny old thing, innit? Hang on. What's happened there then? No, come on, that's not a graph. That's a cliff edge. Someone's only gone and put the brakes on. Nah, that ain't right. Yesterday everyone was watching. Today even me mum's probably gone missing. Right, someone explain this one then. Don't you start as well. I've already got the algorithm against me. Now even the lion's judging me. Right then, explain yourself. Yesterday my video were flying. Today it's disappeared quicker than chips at a football match. Your complaint has been received. Please remain patient. Patient? I've been patient since dial-up internet. Your decline was caused by multiple factors. Viewer behavior, engagement patterns, audience retention. Right, so basically you're telling me nobody watched it because nobody watched it? Correct. That's not an explanation, that's just saying it again slower. After extensive analysis, we have identified the cause. The content was exceptionally good. Hang on, you're blaming me because it were good? Correct. Viewer expectations may have increased. That's the daftest thing I've heard, and I've been on the internet since people use dial-up. After reviewing all evidence, the algorithm has reached its conclusion. Case dismissed. Wait, that's it? Yes. But you haven't actually answered anything. Correct. Right. Have you finished? Because I've got another video to make. You lot still don't get it, do ya? Creators don't stop. So, been locked up by a computer. That's a new one. Still got another video idea, though. Good luck stopping me. Creator Kev K57. Impossible to process. Case dismissed. Next.
Okay, guys. Without mucking about, Freedom Dad has entered the building. He's a busy man, so I'm going to invite him straight up onto the screen now. Are you ready to come up, Freedom Dad? You're looking good. Yeah, he's looking really distinguished. He looks the part. Here we go. Here's Freedom Dad. There we go.
How we doing, guys? I'm just
Always
having a wee
good.
look. Just having a wee look here, mate, and your live is not up on telly yet.
I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
Freedom Dad. I put an announcement up earlier on with a fancy thumbnail and everything, announcing it. And I went to go into the studio to check on it, and it had gone. So I had to rapidly create another one.
Yeah, strange, because yeah, it's not up. It's definitely not up on the tally. Let me check. Let me check this other phone.
Yeah, take your time. We got all night, my friend.
Just to see what's happening, because it is very strange what's going on in that right now. Very strange.
Everything going on in the world seems strange to me these days, Freedom Dad.
Oh, there you go. Aye, yes, yes, live. Yes, come up on the phone. Have a look. Live. Yeah. Okay, I got it. It just wasn't on. That's not on the tally yet. How about you, mate?
Well, thanks to you, I'm doing much better, Freedom Dad. I was feeling a bit down a couple of weeks ago. I think you picked up on it. You sent me that message saying, just shake it off. Everyone goes through it. You get a bit disillusioned now and again.
Yeah,
you get disappointed with people. I'm sure you've been through it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. You know what I mean? It's different for yourself because you've lived and breathed this for so long, you know what I mean? You know, I haven't been in the game as long as you have, like, you know, so yeah, I can imagine. And then with YouTube doing what they're doing with all the videos right now.
Oh, yeah.
I was just having a wee look at your channel there, and I'm looking at videos at 27,000 views and 15,000 views and 16,000 views, and you know, it's just like, you know, I think it's affecting everybody, you know what I mean?
Yes, it is. I've turned out some good videos, and I have a look back, and they've got maybe 29 views. It does happen. It depends what you're talking about, Freedom. You're looking good though, Freedom Dad. You're looking good.
Cheers, mate. Thanks. Yeah.
Is there a new girl in your life?
No. What do you mean a new girl? Fuck's sake, you know what I mean?
I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I reached out to your friend, and we've arranged for her to come on the show sometime, and she has some questions.
Oh, Lindsay, yes, I was talking to Lindsay. She asked, she asked for your number. Yeah. No, Lindsay, the pocket rocket, we call her. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, she's.
How old is she?
I believe she's single as well, mate. You know what I mean?
It's a pity. I'm married and I've been neutered. You should be neutered. You should be neutered. But man about town, years ago they would have called you one of the jet setters, wouldn't they? I said the other day, they were talking about Freedom Dad. I said he's here, he's there, he's everywhere.
They call me the left. The one I left on a hit piece. It was like was it 161? Like an Antifa group in Southern Ireland, and they called me a nomad. I had to Google it. I was like, is that offensive? You know, is that bad? You know what I mean? And then I realized, you know, it's not that bad actually, and they're a wee bit funny on.
I think I'd rather be called a nomad than the dirty old man, which I get called quite often. I like to play into it, Freedom Dad. Really, I like to play into it.
Yeah, well, myself, a lot of people think I've got a girl in the report, but I'm a gentleman and I'm a content creator, and I've got to be very, very careful. So, unfortunately, I'm always single. I always sleep alone. Yet I always sleep alone.
Yeah. Lady J said she was going to be here this evening. I don't know if she's called in. There she is. Just seen her coming in now. Lady J says that Lindsay, Tiny Brown. Yeah. Right. I suppose Freedom Dad, we haven't spoke for a while, have we? For those of you who don't know, Freedom Dad gave me a big lift 8 months ago when I started this channel. I saw him speaking in a car out in Ulster, Northern Ireland, and he really impressed me. And so I put it out, and I don't know who the character was with him, but I liked the man who was with him as well. I only heard his voice, but the things he said made me like him. And so Freedom Dad pushed our channel and gave it a big lift and launched it, really, I suppose. So if Freedom Dad asks for anything, I'm going to be the first one to come running.
You put all the hard work in. So you do, you know what I mean? You put all the hard work in. I'm just looking at the comments. I've got the comments up in the tally.
All right. I can't. Yeah. Kalia, abnormal heart rate, ignore that. With no bats Arabs and only had camels for the lonely nights. We got, somebody made a good comment the other day, Freedom Dad, you probably noticed yourself. For example, on this live at the moment, we normally get a few in from X. Got 20. What have we got here? It's not showing for some reason. There we go. We've got nobody on from X. Normally have a few over. We've got 27 viewing at this moment in time. But by this time tomorrow, it'll be up in the hundreds. A lot of people seem to watch the show, if you call it a show, after the event is when it really starts to rise. Of course, it depends what else is going on around the internet. Anyhow, so first of all, I'm never sure where you are these days. Are you in Glasgow, Dublin,
I'm
or
in Glasgow.
Belfast?
I'm in
You're
Glasgow.
in Glasgow.
Yes, I'm in Glasgow. I've got an event at the weekend, and I'm sort of got nowhere to live at the minute, mate. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get a place of my own. Trying to get somewhere that's safe is a very big problem right now. Yeah, that's the biggest problem I have, because I'm so well known in Northern Ireland, and you know, you can't do this without picking up enemies, and you know,
I noticed.
They don't want to do nothing to your face, but they'll burn your car out and smash your windows and stuff in the middle of the night, you know, on them ones. So I have to be careful where I move to and stuff like that. And I have got guys doing their best for me. You know, so it's just one of them ones. I'm in a good place. I'm being well looked after, and I've got my own wee flat here, more or less. It's my mate's, but you know, it's his house is my house, like he says, and I've got my own room and everything I need. You know what I mean? It's absolutely, it's perfect for me right now. I'm still able to do what I'm doing. Like I say, the boys were over last 2 weekends. All my boys came over. We had a great weekend together. Like I say, you got social media now and WhatsApps and FaceTimes, and you're never that far away from anybody, really. You know what I mean? And I can get down to England if I need to without, you know, jumping about boats and everything. So it is. It'll do me for now, and nothing's changed. I'm still doing the exact same work, and we've built quite a lot of platforms and groups in Northern Ireland that are doing reasonably well. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's not just Freedom Dad anymore. There's quite a lot of people involved now, and they're doing really good as far as I'm concerned. And there's plenty to be getting on with for them guys, and there's plenty for me to be doing here, and so it's no big deal. You know what I mean? No big deal. Things have moved on in the last year, so they have.
Well, it's good of your friend to provide a roof over your head and give you the freedom of his home. I think he should be applauded for that. Then again, Freedom Dad, it's not quite the same as having your own place, your own base where you can make it what you want.
Well, but I haven't had my own place since for the last couple of years. I have been like sofa surfing and people put me up. So nothing, you know what I mean? Nothing's really changed for me. My location from Northern Ireland from Belfast to Glasgow is only changed. But yeah, I have been relying on people looking after me. You know what I mean?
You're like a character out of The Godfather on the mattresses, I think they call it. Freedom Dad's gone to the mattresses. Hey, but you say about being recognised, Freedom Dad, but I'm damn sure by now the number of videos I've seen you at events in Glasgow and out with the boys is you must be pretty well known in Glasgow by now.
Yeah, I am. I do get noticed. Like most times I go out, people do notice me, and yeah, I am pretty secure. You know what I mean? I've got a good circle of guys around me over here. Obviously, I don't jump about unaware of my security. You know what I mean? That's my security is always second to none. But you know, it's just a bit different in Northern Ireland. You know, it's just a wee bit different. You know, and yeah. That's all I'm going to say about that.
I'm really glad that we could get together because I've been out of the loop for a while and I haven't got much of a clue. It's my own fault, you know. Well, no, you know what I mean. Sometimes you just step back, you just can't face. And you know, I'm back now, and phone message really did perk me up and make me think things through, Freedom Dad. So thank you for that.
No problem.
So I'm out of the loop with what's been happening over in Ulster and the Republic of Ireland. Can you update us on what's happening over there?
Well, all I can say, like, it's really, really positive and progressive, you know, as far as the right, patriotism, whatever you want to call it, you know what I mean? The left are working really hard to bring us all down. The papers are working hard. And the only people who are going to destroy us is ourselves. This is where we're at right now. And, you know, that's always my message to guys, you know what I mean? We've come a long way in the last year and a half. You know, and we've built, there's groups and like some of the pages that have been built in just the last 6 months are hitting 40,000 followers, and the reach that we're getting to the people on the streets is unbelievable. The support, the following, the awakening, you know, it's unbelievable. You know what I mean? It is unbelievable, and yeah. There's unity that's coming out of nowhere that I never seen coming between Protestants and Catholics on both sides of the border. You know what I mean? It started firstly with Southern Irish, the Patriots in Southern Ireland reached out, and then I went down to Dublin, down there 4 times. I was down Limerick, you know, and I was welcomed. I spoke outside the post office, where the famous Easter uprising was, and has a loyalist, ex-loyalist prisoner, and was introduced on the stage as an ex-loyalist prisoner, and I received nothing but applause and in front of a sea of tricolours. So that's an image and an experience that I'll never ever forget, and it's, you know, it means so much to me. You know, it meant so much to the dissidents and the IRA. They didn't like it, you know what I mean? But that's understandable. I understand it. I get all that. But the thing is the people are changing. The people on both sides of the border are changing. Yeah. And it's not something we expected. No, we expected to be fighting this battle on our own as Protestants, as Unionists, you know, and we expected them to do what they were doing on their own. We never expected any unity. I've never experienced it, you know, as you see with the bonfires burning tricolours and stuff like that. You know, it's still a very difficult, it's a difficult pill for a lot of men to swallow. But I think how we deliver the explanations of what's going on and why we are who we are, and the amount of time we spent in conflict, I think people understand that, you know, there is that we will need that period, you know, where people transition into this new era that we've found ourselves in, you know what I mean? And, you know, a lot of people will drag their heels, but I do believe we will all get on the same page eventually. You know, it's without a doubt. Without a doubt.
We restreamed your streams from the 12th, and they were absolutely superb, Freedom Dad. We went all day, absolutely brilliant, thank you. But during the bonfires, I saw that the tricolours up there on top of the pallets, and I thought, pity about that, but what can you do? It's a part of their history and their culture, you know. But they were less this year than they were last year, I understand. One last thing, Freedom Dad, I got to mention this. You spoke outside the post office, the Easter uprising, really famous in Republic of Ireland's history. You must be one of the few loyalists ever.
Only loyalist. The only Protestant, I think, never mind loyalist.
Yeah, the only Protestant.
Yeah,
that is absolutely, that is really historic.
The only loyalist from Ulster to ever do it, and you know it is. Like, to be honest with you, I never went down to do that. I went down there to record what was going on. I wanted to know about the different groups that were coming up. I wanted to know about the different political parties that were popping up, who was fighting against the mass immigration. Who was against them. I wanted to get a look at the left. I wanted to see the different organizations in the left. I wanted to understand what was going on down there because of the open border policy, and sort of bring that information back to Northern Ireland. And that's all I was doing. I was there as a citizen journalist, as I am, you know what I mean? And what had happened was Michelle Keane, who was an up-and-coming politician, I invited her to Northern Ireland last year. Just at the bonfires when we were getting ready for the 11th, and I took her around a couple of loyalist areas, introduced her some loyalists, showed her the bonfires and explained to her about the culture and who we are and what we're about and what it means to us, you know what I mean? And it wasn't like just to say, oh, we're all nice guys, and it was to let her know, you know, because there is a lot of talk about United Ireland, and you know that's a big problem as far as I'm concerned, because that will divide us, you know. And I want, and it's not threatening, but I need them to know that, you know, our guys aren't going to give up what we have. We're not going to give up the union like by that way. It's not going to happen. Well, not happen anyway, I can't imagine. And I think it's important that the people in Southern Ireland see what it means to us, like firsthand, rather than going down there and just talking about a United Ireland without knowing the implications, the effect it has on the people of Northern Ireland. You know what I mean? So that was the whole point of that, getting her down, showing her our culture. This is who we are. And yeah, you know, we didn't mince our words, but it was like a lot of time for her. So it was through her that she was the one speaking, and she I think off the cuff just asked me up to speak. Yeah, so that's how that came about. Wasn't planned, didn't have anything read out, you know what I mean?
I actually watched it live as you were streaming live, and I could see you talking, and then I could see the look of surprise on your face, and then you went over, and fair play, completely unscripted or anything. You've done a magnificent job. Lady J just made an interesting comment. Can you read it, Freedom Dad?
I don't like tricolours on bonfires, same as I don't like Union flags on 14. Yeah, well, that's the thing, you know what I mean? That's the comeback of us guys. Whenever a lot of guys complain about the tricolour on our bonfires, you know, they burn every single flag that we have. They'll burn UVF flags, UFF flags, UDA, Red Hand, Union Jacks, pictures of the Queen, pictures of the King. You know, they'll burn anything that represents Protestant Unionists or Loyalists. You know, their bonfires are covered in our flags, you know.
Yeah.
But like I say, it's, you know, it isn't quite the same, you know what I mean? There is you know, these bonfires these are dissidents, these are hardline Republicans, you know what I mean? They're celebrating, not celebrating, they're remembering the back in the day when they had, I can't remember the name of it, on top of my head, but they had internment. Yeah. And that, like, so these are hardliners, and people will say, well, sure, the bonfires and that's not hardline, that's not sectarianism. You know, there's a difference between the bonfires and the 11th and 12th of July compared to theirs. They celebrate terrorism. You know, it's that, as far as I'm concerned, you know, that's the way we look at it. You know, the 12th of July was 1690, the Battle of Boyne with King James and Prince William of Orange, and the bonfires were lit as beacons to guide Prince William in the ships, you know what I mean? So there is a difference in the two different celebrations, you know what I mean? The Irish flag, you know, it was always represented, you know, the optics of the Irish flag growing up, they would always be draped over IRA men's coffins from Belfast in Northern Ireland. So the optics as a young man growing up would be the tricolour was an IRA flag, you know, and that sort of just grew on our nation as young loyalists and Protestants. You know, that's just the way it is. It's the optics of it. You know, nobody really takes on board that, you know, it's only now today that we're looking at the Irish flag and seeing the Irish people as the same as us. You know what I mean? They're in the same predicament as us. You know, we live on the same island, you know, and that's only the day that we're starting to look at things differently. And like I say, it is going to take a lot of people a lot of time. Please believe me, I have had many heated discussions in July over the flag getting burnt, you know what I mean? You know, taking risks, you know what I mean? And, you know, and it hasn't been easy. It's been really, really hard. And I do take a lot of flack, you know what I mean? I don't know anybody else that will go around bonfires and ask them not to burn the tricolour. You know, there's nobody else that's ever done it. Nobody else will probably do it either. You know what I mean? So it's not like I don't try. You know what I mean? I'm trying my best, and I'm trying to explain to the guys why I'm not, you know, I don't just go about don't burn the tricolour. I do try and come across and explain to them exactly what's going on. You know what I mean? But it's like I say, it's something that's been in our history for a long time. It's something that we grew up as children. These guys are now in their 40s and 50s and 60s, and it's just a bad habit to break, a hard habit to break, you know.
You spoke about the dissidents. You call them dissidents now then, Freedom Dad back in the day. Back in the day, as you know, I was out there between 69 and 76, and we had the IRA, PIRA, and OIRA. Yeah, IRA, PIRA, and OIRA. Those were the three I can distinctly remember. Now, is it just the IRA, or you refer to as dissidents, and have those other groups vanished?
No, so everything, they're all gone. So you've got the new IRA, you got the NLA who would have been just after you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the NLA are still active, you know, the jails are full of them right now. And they're sort of went in with, I believe, the new IRA, what they call the new IRA, and that's who was responsible for the that bomb that was found, and the two bombs that was planted in, this year. So yeah, it is sort of younger ones being led by some of the better older ones that can't transition. You know, they don't accept it, and I don't know. You know, I can't really understand where their mentality is right now. You know, I mean, I got a message today from a Republican. Where was he from? I'll try and find it. He's from a Republican area in Belfast. Give me 2 seconds, because this is quite ironic. Let's turn this down. This guy here has just been brought to my attention. No, never mind. 2 seconds, guys. Let me see. I don't think I answered him just yet. But he was saying that it was a club. I think it was in Ardoyne. It could have been in the Falls, one or two of them, and they brought in a busload of Somalians in the middle of the night. Wow! And he said, and he started the message off by saying, "I don't know who else to reach out to." I mean, this is a young Republican who's seeing stuff in this area, and that's how he started the message. I don't know who, because I've got 100 message requests here on one of my TikToks that I haven't been on for a long time, and I was just going through some of them, but I'll dig it out. So well.
But Freedom Dad, talking about, we'll call them the dissidents then. Yeah, we'll call them the dissidents. When the newcomers started to arrive, I thought, oh, well, the dissidents, they wanted the English out. Surely they're not going to take to all these newcomers with their different religions and stuff like that. And yet they seemed still to hate the English more than they hate the newcomers.
It's difficult, Paul. It really is. I can't really speak for them. Like what we believe is you're using foreigners. You know how the old cliche, foreigners in, Brits out. You know, this is where they're at. This is what we believe, because it's difficult to understand it in any other way. You know, it's like, you know, I can't get my head around it. I know, and they're losing so much support. They're losing support from their community. Sinn Féin are losing support, and it does worry me, because if Sinn Féin are taking this stance against their people, and I see the reaction, like that. So Sinn Féin are now called Shame Féin or Sharia Féin, right? That's what the Irish people call them, right? So, you know, as a Protestant, I'm seeing this, so they must see this, but it doesn't seem to deter them, and that worries me, because then you think to yourself, you know, there must be something going on. Why are they not worried? You know, are they going to fix the elections? Do they not care that the people aren't going to vote for them? Or is the foreigners actually going to vote for them? Is this what it's about? Is it about getting the foreigners in to vote for them? Because at the end of the day, let's face it, you know, it's just like in England, it's just like in Scotland with the SNP, with Labour. If you've got a left-wing government who's bringing in foreigners and supports the foreigners, and you've got a right-wing government, which would be the unionists, that aren't, you know, I can't speak for all unionist parties, unfortunately, but I'd like to think that our unionist parties are against mass immigration. Who are the foreigners going to vote for? They're not going to vote for the party that might be putting them out in the future. They're going to vote for the party that's going to keep them in. So maybe it's something that's right in front of our faces that we're not seeing clearly enough, but it is concerning. It is very, very concerning. that Sinn Féin
Absolutely.
are doing this to their own people.
Is it possible? Are their leaders still ideologically driven, or could they be controlled by outside agencies? I don't know, bribed, blackmailed, trapped?
Yeah, well, that's definitely a key factor that seems to be running deep within our governments. You know, and you can understand why. You know, what I mean, these guys are in positions of power. You know, what I mean, and many power militaries have been you know, turned. You know, what I mean, and many men who that we know in the past, and at both sides of the campaign, became police informers for whatever reason, whether it was honey traps, whether it was, you know, stuff they had on them, you know, whether it was money. So yeah, of course, that's definitely an option, especially in Southern Ireland. You know, like I say, the Unionist Party, our Unionist Party, I like to believe they're homegrown working class men who live in our areas. That they're not like millionaires, you know what I mean, multi-millionaires, and they're not private schoolboys. You know, we're in a situation where Northern Ireland's quite small. Like I say, with 2 million. So it's easier for us to vote who we want to represent us rather than, you know, a lot of these people like Andy Burnham, he's been selected, not elected. You know what I mean? We see that all the time. You know what I mean? And I think that's important that we're able to select the men and women that represent us. And I think it's important we hang on to that going into the future, because that's the only thing that's going to save us. You know what I mean? And that's what I believe. You know what I mean? You know, Northern Ireland isn't the type of place where a politician can bullshit us, tell us what we want to hear, then get in the power and turn against us. That wouldn't be advisable for anybody to do in Northern Ireland, whether you're Protestant or Catholic. You know what I mean?
I remember my history a couple of months ago. I did a video, Freedom Dad, on how many councillors from both sides had left this planet. Judges, people like that, but councillors, mayors, and I was surprised at the numbers that who had gone on to the afterlife, shall we say? Yeah.
Well, it's fucking obvious, mate. You know what I mean? Look at the people that run the country. You know, you wouldn't leave them in charge of your children. They couldn't run a youth club. You know what I mean? These people do not represent the people of any of our countries. They're you know, you look at Starmer, man, he was the most feeble, weakest man you'll ever come across. That's not a leader. You know what I mean?
No.
Richie Sunak, Boris Johnson. You know, you're not going to find a leader until you go
They
back
barely
to
men.
Thatcher, you know what I mean? Winston Churchill. There was leaders like, you know, Maggie Thatcher. She was the Iron Lady. Some people don't like her. You know, at the end of the day, but she you could tell she was a leader. You know what I mean? It seems they've got worse and worse, and that's the thing. They're being selected by somebody above them because they're not leaders. They're men who will do what they're told. They're puppets, and the puppet masters above are only going to pick the right kind of puppets that will work for them. You know, so you know what we can see what's going on. Like same in Scotland. You know what I mean? Exact same carry on in Scotland. There's no real men. There's no real hard men that, you know, that will stand up and speak unscripted, unedited, and, you know, and fight for their country. You know,
but in my opinion, Freedom Dad, Ulster has always had strong men who were prepared to stand up.
Of course,
I watched the videos, shorts by people like Derek Domino, and he's always showing clips of brave Irishmen in the Republic of Ireland standing alone against the newcomers. So that Ulster and the Republic of Ireland do seem to be producing men with more testosterone than we are over here in the UK. We've got real brave men, but
the problem with the Republic of Ireland is they're not getting the chance to select the men that they want. You know, they're not getting a chance that they elect or vote for who they want. They're being handed these absolute lowlives and then being told to pick between them, and they're wasting their votes. They're spoiling their votes because they're like, we're not going to vote for that, and we're not going to vote for that. You know what I mean? But this is the problem. There's no choice. There's no. It's like football, and like as I grew up with, like I knew a lot of guys, especially in Northern Ireland, involved with their troubles, were amazing footballers, snooker players, but they would never get the chance because of their background. You know, And that's true. You know what I mean? That is fact. A lot of people don't know that. There is a lot of professional footballers in our country, but it's like the same as the motor racing. You know, there's a lot. I know guys that went through the go-karts and were involved in the Formula 3 and all that, and you know they got put to the side for Lewis Hamilton. You know what I mean? Because he was diverse, he was black. And you know, and I remember all that. You know, this is true. It doesn't matter. Some of our best footballers and best athletes don't get a chance because of their backgrounds. You know, so it's not about how good you are in life. It's something. It's about who you are. You know what I mean? And that's that works with politicians as well, as far as I believe, especially in Southern Ireland, not in Northern Ireland. You know, like I say, you know, the biggest problem we have in Northern Ireland is there's too many political parties. You know what I mean? We've got the UUP, the DUP, the TUV, and that's no good. That's no good. You know, we need one political party for the Protestant Unionist Loyalist community to vote for, and therefore we can't go wrong. You know what I mean? And you know, that's one of the programs we're trying to start and get established, is to bring all political parties in the one room so we can vote for one instead of splitting our vote.
But you've got a reputation for being an impartial interviewer. I've seen it. I know how you tend to keep your, if you like, your politics to yourself when you're interviewing anyone, whether it be talking just to me or talking to Nick Griffin or Jim Dawson. I'd like to talk about Jim in a moment, actually.
Yeah.
I lost the point, sorry. So we'll jump straight over to Jim Dawson. I had a comment today, and then after that, just in case I forget, I'd like us to return over to Glasgow to talk about that demonstration you were at and how the mainstream media attacked you. Talking about Jim Dawson, as you know, I know Jim Dawson. I've got a soft spot for Jim Dawson. People say he's a rogue and a crook and stuff like that. Is he? I don't know. I do know one thing: he raised a lot of money for the British National Party. Whether he had a few pints out of it, I don't know. I don't care. He done more good than he done harm, in my honest opinion. If you see him, give him my regards. And I had a comment today saying, how can you support Ulster, Northern Ireland, with people like Jim Dawson, the Knights Templars, the Orange Order, and links to Zionism? And that would be a fair question, because as you know, I'm rabidly anti-Zionist. But I'm also proactive, very pragmatic, Freedom Dads. And my argument to that is, well, it's a long road we're traveling, and I will work with anyone who is fighting our common enemy at this moment in time. I believe over time, you know, people will either stay and believe because of their religion, genuinely believe that that's what the Bible said, and others will probably drift away from it. I just wondered how you handle that situation.
Well, first of all, I do need to, you know, Jim Dawson is a good friend of mine. So yeah, I'm going to not clear anything up, but I'm going to speak in his defense while he's not here. And, you know, I think it's clear when you're on the right and you work as hard as he does and you fundraise as much as he does, and you know, you put the work that he puts in, and he's give up a lot to do what he's doing, and the fact that he's still doing it, he's not retired on an island in Barbados, he hasn't got his own boat, he doesn't drive a fancy car, you know what I mean? And I've seen where the money goes, you know, and the money goes to really good things. He's built a church. He helps a lot of patriot guys. He was over here last weekend supplying streetwalkers with body armor and walkie-talkies and stuff like that. You know, so I can only speak on what I see myself. But to be honest, you know, I can understand why people will try and bring him down and put him down. And like you said, he did fundraise a lot of money for the BNP. You know, at the end of the day, a man's got to live as well, but he doesn't live on a fluent life. It's no champagne Jim, you know what I mean? I know that, you know what I mean? He's not extravagant, you know, he's very humble. and he's a family man. He's got many children, many grandchildren, and yeah, I think, you know, I'm proud to know him, proud to know what he does, you know, and you know, it is one of them things, mate. You know, it is difficult, the stuff that's said about me as well, and most patriots. I don't think there's any patriot that does what we do and becomes quite well known isn't going to get flack from somewhere. You know what I mean? And if you throw enough mud, it sticks, mate. You know, that's, you know. But yeah.
Well, I haven't really spoke to Jim Dowson in a long time, but I certainly, if I ever get a chance to come over to Ulster sometime, I'd like to meet up with Jim and have a few beers. I'm not going to turn my back on him.
Would you like me to pass your number on to him?
You can if you wish. You can if you wish. You might support Zionism, but I don't know how to.
Well, but see, that's another thing where that's wrong as well.
Yeah,
I can tell you that categorically. You know, I come from a land.
All right.
Where, you know, yeah, that's you know, he doesn't like, you know, he really doesn't 100%.
Say no more freedom, Dad. Freedom. There's a lot of people, and I lost my faith a long time ago, freedom, Dad. I really did, but I still really respect Christian values. I really do. I mean, occasionally, even now, I'll read a little piece from the Bible because there's some great stuff in it to learn from. But no, perhaps it's because of what happened to the Church of England. They destroyed the Church of England. No pleasure to go to our churches anymore. And I sometimes think that, I don't know, this is a strange question for you, Freedom Dan. I sometimes look at Catholicism and think, well, they seem to have something right. They don't seem to be losing their churches the way that we are. I don't know if that's true or not. Is Catholicism declining?
I don't know, mate. It's not really my I'm not really, that's not really something I get involved with. I mean, I keep things simple and keep everything in layman's terms. A lot of people that follow me wouldn't even be able to tell you what that means, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I try not to complicate things too much, because too much information can be damaging to the word that what we're trying to get out. And that's just, it's a social media thing. I've learned this a long time ago, especially with digital ID, digital currency, fucking seed spraying and all the rest. And you know what I mean? It's like, it's just overwhelming. It's too much, you know what I mean? Let's focus on getting the right government in to stop the replacement that we see that's happening. And then that government, if they're going to stop replacement, they're going to stop everything else. You know what I mean? That's what I believe, you know what I mean? So I keep it simple.
That, you know, I think I'll start doing that, Freedom Dad. I'm guilty of overthinking. I tend to dive into a subject and I will dig until I find out how everything works. I tell you what, I don't know how you feel about this. I've got a newspaper article that mentions you and your friend Glenn. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if you'd have a Mr. X. Yeah. I don't know if you'd have a and total respect to Mr. X.
Yes.
I don't know if you'd have a problem with me showing that article.
No problems, man. Everybody else has seen it. Yeah, everybody's else seen it. I'll make you a wee drink of a beer for this.
Do you want to get a quick drink now while you're there?
Yeah,
if you've got a can, I'm getting a can.
Yeah. I had to go to that bar the day to see somebody, and I had a pint. So my mate had some beer in the fridge. So I was like, he's away to the football tonight. So I was like, I'll get a wee beer while I'm on my Paul. And it wasn't like last night now, you know what I mean? So
I'm having a can of San Miguel that I got because San Miguel beer always reminds me of Hong Kong for some reason. When I was in Hong Kong, I drank San Miguel. When I was in Singapore, I drank Tiger. And now seeing you with a can, I want a can. Look after the show.
Yes, I'm just going to read some comments. All right, John Rankin, how you doing? Stevie, I'm not too sure who you are, mate. You must be our moderator for Paul. Thank you, moderators, for staying on top. Kirsty, happy days. Lady J is the good moderator. 404. All right, bro, good to see you, mate. You're never far away, are you, mate? But hope you're all good. Chat. Talia, big up, Mr. X. Yes, big up, Mr. X. Mr. X is watching, so he is. I think he called me earlier on. You know, reminded me to remember you, to remember him. Nice done, boy, man. Honestly.
That's good. That's good. Okay. Well, before we before we look at the article, and I got to be honest, Freedom Dad, there's a lot of stuff in the article about you that, were I not to know you, I would think, well, I like this guy. I like what he's saying. I like what he's doing.
Well, I'm not kidding you on, right? This is no word of lie, right? I think I'm running like I say, over 11 front pages, right? It's been non-stop over there. But recently, right, they've used the same photograph of me and Mr. Axe and a few other boys I'm not going to name. Danny Tomo was in it. They've used that photograph 4 weeks running in the Sunday papers in Northern Ireland. You know, I don't think my name's been out of the Sunday papers or most of the papers at all for at least 2 months. Every single week, they always get me in there, even if the article's about somebody else. It was about the Proud Boys this week, right? The Proud Boys and white supremacists, and there's Freedom Dad, there's Glenn. You know what I mean? I'm like, I've never been involved in anything like that in my life. You know what I mean? And,
did they not realise the danger that they are putting you in? They might as well put a target on your back.
But mate, they've already done the dangers. It's too late for that. That's not the issue. Like the dangers already there. They done that by saying I was related to the Shangle Butchers, by calling me an MI5 agent. You know, they really put my life in danger like a year ago, and you know that's never going to go away. I still get people believing the stuff that's been said about me. Even the TikToks have been done by people who's being paid by the state. I believe, you know, it's either, I don't know, you know, sometimes I try not to think. I say, surely not. They're not working for the state. And the only other thing is they just don't like me, and they just, for some reason, they just don't like me, and they just want to do TikToks against me. But I think to myself, there's no way you would spend so much time hating on somebody, because I mean, this was a full-time job. They went to Scotland and interviewed my baby's mama. You know what I mean, mate? That fucking, like, you know, the girl's pregnant. She's trying to stop me seeing my baby. She's going to say whatever she wants. You know, she's got a platform to hate on me. You know what I mean? You know, and like one of the things, it's difficult, you know, obviously, like everybody, all my ex-girlfriends, I'm friends. Fortunately, I don't have like 6, 7 girls that I've been with in all my days, and sort of long-term relationships. I'm still friends and communicate with them. And like, I've got lifelong friends who know me, and I've never lifted my hand to a woman. I'm not a domestic abuser. I'm not an angry person or anything like that. So, you know, that didn't bother me because the people around me know who I am. But at the same time, you can't, when somebody says, oh, he's nasty, or he hit me, and you're like, you know, you can't really disprove it. You know what I mean? The fact that there was no police reports, and this is the first time it's ever been brought up, you know what I mean, should have been enough for people to understand. I think this is a bit of bullshit. But one of the things that was said is, she says I didn't pay for my baby, but I had the receipts. I had them all on my banking app. You know what I mean? All the money that I sent her. And so I made it public. I put it out public on Facebook. You know what I mean? Sort of regret it now, so I do, to be honest with you, because I was just angry at the whole thing. You know what I mean? But yeah, it wasn't a nice time. But this is how far they go, mate. This is what I've went through. I mean, I've had my personal life. My wife, who I lost to COVID, her daughter saying stuff about me that my wife wasn't here to defend. That was the toughest bit. That was the hardest thing that I've ever had to deal with in my life. You know what I mean? And having somebody say lies about me, and having these people put them on a platform, put it on TikTok, on YouTube, of somebody who's got an axe to grind. And when the actual, my wife was never, she's not here anymore, to say that's lies. You know what I mean? So that was tough. You know what I mean? But that's how hard it's been. It's been relentless, and I mean relentless. You know.
I've been through similar, as you know, Freedom Dad, back in the day, and it's still lingering on now, 15 years later. There's still a lot of extremely bad feelings between myself and people in Wales. I believe 100% I was in the right, and I think they know I was in the right, but they're not man enough to admit it. I'll send you a copy of an article, a link to an article with some real vicious lies in. You'll know straight when you read them. And I often wonder that the people who made these lies, in the same way they're lying about you, Freedom Dad, do they ever feel shame for the things they've done? Do they ever look back and think, that was wrong, I lied about that man? I couldn't do it.
Yeah, see, I get it. No, see, the bottom line is, as far as my baby's mum is concerned, I don't hold any hostility or any hatred. You know what I mean? You know, she was angry. I left her. You know, well, you know, I did. I left her, and then I moved to Belfast because she moved out and it wasn't let me see the baby. And you know what I mean? You know, I should have handled the whole situation a bit better. And I get it. I get the anger, and then you know, she's me being who I am and doing what I'm doing. You know, she doesn't want me to see the baby. You know, I haven't seen my baby, and the last photograph I seen of my baby was some other man holding her in his arms. And that was about 4 or 5 weeks ago. And I haven't physically seen my baby since last October. You know what I mean? And that's from like trying. But the problem I've got, and she knows this, is because of who I am. What court in the world is going to give me access to my child when I'm under so many death threats? And I'm right wing, and all the courts are left wing. You know what I mean? So there was no need for her to do that. You know what I mean? It was never an issue. I'm not the kind of guy who would take. I know, I mean, I was a single. I only had my mum, and I know what it means to have your mother. So I would never, you know, take my child off her. You know what I mean? And I think she was maybe afraid. And there was other things going on I'm not going to go into, you know, because it's not fair on her. But, you know, I get it. I get it, mate. You know what I mean? I understand it. You know what I mean? Like I say, it's life. It's life.
Yeah. Back in the day, Freedom Dad, you know, I couldn't see my grandchildren because of death threats. But you said something there I thought was really interesting. You were expressing some way of regret about some of the way you handled some things. Well, I had a conversation this time with a patriot, and he was saying, how can you speak so highly of Freedom Dad? And I said, well, he says, but you are aware of the crimes, alleged crimes, whatever, that he committed? I said, yeah. I said, they were a long, long time ago, I said, and we all change. I mean, and I was quite honest. I said, had I been out in Ulster and I'd have been born in the Falls, I'd have been a vicious little bastard. Or listen, if I'd born in the Shankill, I would have been a ruthless loyalist, ruthless. Yeah. You know, I don't think that way now.
This is the thing. It seems to be the left, as far as the left concerned. I'm surprised Patriots getting on like that, but you know, as far as the left are concerned, if you've got a past, you shouldn't have a future. You know, when they push for rehabilitation and all the rest of it, and you know, and you know the way they behave, especially you know, serious crimes. You know what I mean? But yeah, I was a bank robber and I done my time. You know what I mean? And yeah, at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's who I was, who I was brought up. You know what I mean? The way I was brought up. You know, it's not about apologizing for it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it is what it is. You know what I mean? You know, it's the life I led. And, you know, like I've always said, if I had been brought up anywhere else in the world, I wouldn't have seen the inside of a prison cell, and I stand by that. Stand by it.
Well, I suppose that those experiences have made you the man you are. I think Ulster, definite. The Royal Navy, first and foremost, played a major part in making me who I am. Joined in the Navy at 15, and then Ulster between 69 and 76 really put the polish on me, if you like. Look, let's have a look at this.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, go for it. You've already mentioned it, so I can start at the top. Let's share this. We'll get you. Perhaps let's. There it is. There's that famous photograph. It's not
a great photo, is it? Let me get a beer. It's not a great photo at all. They could have done better.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. It's not too bad. What does it say? Right. Perhaps first of all, you'd like to tell us about the anti-immigration protest in Glasgow. Attracted south, and then after you tell us briefly about the protest, I'll scroll down and we'll see what they said about you. Shall we, Freedom Dad?
Yes,
you want to tell us about the protest?
Yes, so it was an anti-immigration protest by an organisation called Unite the Clans. That, excuse me, and basically in Scotland there has been a lot of different patriot sites, like in Northern Ireland, and a wee bit of falling out, and you know, different egos and stuff like that, and want people going in different directions. Just human nature of the way we are, you know what I mean? So Unite the Clans was bring them all together at this event, and everything was going really well, you know what I mean? But obviously the left were there, and the police, you know, I'll just tell you I'll tell you what happened, you know what I mean? The police let the left get close, you know, very, very close, and both. So it was a corner of a park, you know, the whole thing was set up wrong. It was in a corner of a park. So this corner and this corner were sort of surrounding the Patriots. And then you'd had, you know, you're talking hundreds and hundreds, you know what I mean, of horrible, horrible lefties. And then what they tried to do, they tried to outflank the Patriots, and a load of guys run off. Now, the biggest problem we have in Scotland is that we're all masked up. Everybody's masked up. Everybody's in black. You got the Union Bears, you got the Green Brigade, and in general, the Green Brigade will support the left. Something that we're trying to deal with right now. We're trying to get on top of it. We're trying to sort it out, trying to talk to them about it. But at this moment, right now, because of the relationship with the Green Brigade, Celtic and Catholics and IRA and Palestine and all the rest of it, they are anything to do with unionism, anything to do with patriotism, anything to do with the right, they're against it. Okay, and it's just another thing that needs to be sorted out, which I do believe we will get there in the end. So the Green Brigade, they were throwing paint bombs. I had a brand new jacket completely destroyed. I got hit with gloss paint all over my jacket, and there was just lots of projectiles getting thrown. But again, this is the second demo in Glasgow I've been at where the police have brought the Green Brigade right up past the guys, the Patriots, and you know, obviously they were wanting trouble. So the next thing I know, there was a gate that was open next to where the Patriots were having the speeches, and a group of maybe 10, 15 masked men, all dressed in black, was waving all the guys out, telling everybody, come on, out on the street, out on the street. So the next thing you had about 100 people out on the streets and then pursued to start running through the town, causing all sorts of problems and mayhem, and like I say, all dressed in black. And to me, it could have been anybody. It could have been some of the Green Brigade. It could have been the police. It could have been anybody, you know.
Right.
I do believe there's instigators who were making sure that that peaceful demonstration wasn't seen as a peaceful demonstration the next day.
Oh,
so I follow
right.
it. As you say, I'm a citizen journalist, and so I'm wanting to know what's going on. I'm there to see the behavior of the police, what the police done about it, where they stopped, you know, and document what was going on that day. And it was an absolute mayhem. The police had no control. The guys were allowed to run through the main streets, some of the busiest main streets in Glasgow, where there was children, women, old folk, and there was, you know, there was racist remarks, there was racist attacks, and like I say, these guys did not represent Unite the Clans. These guys did not represent the demos that I go to around Britain, Northern Ireland, and Scotland. Like I say, it only takes a small group of people to give the government the headlines they want, and they got the headlines, you know, as you see with me and Glenn and the rest, you know what I mean? And a couple of people doing Nazi salutes, so that's all you're getting the next day is the headlines of guys doing Nazi salutes, you know. So that's
Freedom Dad. Freedom Dad, could you talk about the guys giving the Roman salute and being racist, if you like? I don't recognize that word really, but could those have been
that's two different things. That's two different things. I'm not saying that's racist.
Yeah,
I'm saying that's what the police are saying. They're saying
that's what, yeah,
they're going to arrest they're arresting anybody that was seen giving that salute. They're going to be going through their doors. That's what they've said the next day. The racist attacks were on anybody of color that was seen, any delivery drivers, and I'm saying this does not represent the movement of Scotland, the Patriots. This is a small group of maybe a half a dozen to a dozen men that were there masked up. Nobody knows who they were.
That's what I was trying to ask Freedom Dad. Could they be government agents, government agitators?
Listen, I'm convinced, 110% convinced, that the guys that were involved in bringing these people, the rest of the Patriots out, were definitely instigators, either from the government or from the left, who wanted the headlines the next day to take away the peaceful protest, because it takes away the message, you know what I mean? Who's going to support Unite the Clans? Who's going to go to these demos? Who's going to support Patriots when the images the next day aren't of the speeches, aren't of the stories of what people are going through in different parts of Scotland? The images of the day was the violence on the street created by these masked men. You know?
Absolutely. Paid agitators. Well, shall we have a look what the ferret, a left-wing rag, said about you, Freedom Dad? It's not all bad, actually.
No?
I don't think so. Anyhow,
Right.
a loyalist killer, former member of the banned terror group, the Ulster Volunteer Force, respect, attended an anti-immigration demonstration, Scotland minister. I want to get down to where they actually talk about you. They talk about Glenn Kane on the left in the above photograph. He was jailed for 9 years for being part of a mob which killed a man doing as well. Yeah, to me, that's history, freedom, Dad.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But down here, right, here they talk about you. Can you read that, Freedom, Dad?
I can just about see it. Yes.
It says Mark Sinclair was jailed for 18 years in 2003 for a series of bank robberies in Scotland. He had travelled over from his native Northern Ireland and targeted Clydesdale bank branches in Troon. I'd like to go there. Stewarton and Dalbeatty, netting almost £13,000. That must have been worth a bit back in the days.
A bit more than that, but we'll let that go.
Well, obviously on YouTube, I can't condone it, but neither am I going to condemn it. Perhaps when we have a pint, you can tell me all about it. But here's what I liked, where they write about you. I'll read it out for you, Freedom Dad. Sinclair, a Rangers football club fan. I did say I didn't think he'd be a Celtic man. Opposes multiculturalism, says he regularly visits Glasgow. Big news. In a recent video posted while travelling by boat back to Northern Ireland, Ulster, he said, and they are quoting you here, it was a bit of an eye-opener for us in Northern Ireland to see Glasgow in such a state. It was spot the white man, unfortunately, and that's the way it's going, and it's not going to get any better. I'll finish this paragraph, and then we'll talk about these two paragraphs. Nobody's being removed, and they're going to be here to stay, and they're going to have children, and their children are going to outbreed us, and Scottish people, especially Glasgow people, will be a minority, he added. This is where we're at today. It's facts. It's not misinformation. We aren't far-right racists to love our country, to love our traditions, and to love our cultures, and not want to see changes. Well, I don't know about you, Freedom Dad.
That definitely sounds like me. That's definitely me.
that sounds, all of it sounds perfectly reasonable to me, Freedom Dad. Perfectly. Yeah. Apart from that little bit at the front talking about your past, which is history, I thought, well, if I was reading that and a fair person with an open mind, I'd think, well, I don't know what he'd done in the past, but what he's saying there is so obviously true, you know.
Yeah.
It make you think that they were on your side. You know,
it is a strange one, isn't it? It is strange. I do sort of start. I have spoke to some journalists, you know, obviously I have the right to reply. These ones never got in touch with me. They said they did, but they never. And I always like whenever I'm talking to a journalist, I'll always say to them, like, why can't you see what's going on? Why you always put me down? Why are you writing stuff about me? And, you know, they always say the same thing, you know, it's their editors, you know, it's their editors. So I do believe, Pacific journalists do believe that, you know, what we're saying is right. Replacement isn't a fact. You know, there's going to be changes for their children and their grandchildren, just like our children and grandchildren. But, you know, they're in a job that pays well, and their job is to bring people like me down. And I think that's where we're at, like, to be honest with you. Maybe that's where we're at with the Ferret as well.
Well, I definitely think so. I've always found the left to be totally removed from reality. Let's have a look at the rest of the article, shall we, Freedom Dad? Yeah, I'll read it again. Okay. And they are again quoting you. We are not going to lie down and let these people or the government destroy what we know as our culture and traditions in Ulster, Northern Ireland. The bottom line is we're a white Christian country. Again, you're not lying. Again, you're not lying. Then, following the protest in Glasgow last Saturday, Sinclair posted a video claiming 5 people had travelled from Belfast as well as others. He described the protest as pretty eventful and said, quoting you, it was really dangerous coming into the demo because a group called the Green Brigade, which supports Celtic Football Club, were there. Yeah. And you told us a bit about that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Then they go on to talk about Kane. And then later on, they go on to talk about Jim Dawson and yourself as being leading members in the far right. Do you think Jim Dawson would describe himself as a leading member of the far right? He's more sort of religious with the Knights Templar, isn't he?
Yes. I can't speak for Jim.
No, true.
I can't speak for him yet, you know what I mean? But,
No. Yeah. Ask him to come on the show then, please. Would you, Freedom Dad? Yeah, give him my number.
He will, mate. He will come on the show. You know, I know he will. You know what I mean?
It'd be great to talk to him again. Be great to talk to him. You got any more comments on what they said about you? I'm trying to see if these right. Hope Not Hate claim both Kane and Sinclair are well-established members. You should say well-established, respected members of the Northern Irish far-right scene. Yeah, they forgot the word respected there. Yeah. Ollie Bruce, MSP, Green Shadow, said the violent intimidation we saw in Glasgow at the weekend was appalling. The reported involvement of people with histories in loyal paramilitarism and serious violence is deeply alarming. And there they say Sinclair has been asked to comment. We were unable to contact Kane. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that is it. That's the end of the hit piece. I mean, I don't know how often they're going to trot out your past, my friend, probably till the end of time.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But, you know, I can live with that. You know what I mean? I can live with it all. It's not a problem. But like I say, I'm a citizen journalist. I'm a patriotic activist as well. You know what I mean? I you know, it is difficult. You know, I do reporting and stuff, but I also do videos, you know, promoting, you know, the right wing, for want of a better way of explaining it. You know what I mean? Anti-mass immigration, the horrors that I see going on in Glasgow and England, terrifies me that it might happen in my country one day. And that's because I'm a citizen journalist and I get myself out there and I ask the questions and I report on things and I interview people. So because of that information that I've retrieved, I then realize the dangers that are there that could come to our shores that are already in Southern Ireland, you know what I mean, with the thingy. But, you know, I'm not the leader of the far right. I'm not the leader of anything. I am my own man. I am Freedom Dad, the Freedom Dad channel and the Freedom Dad. It's one entity. Like I say, I promote other channels. I promote other groups that get involved in Scotland, England, and Ireland and Northern Ireland. And yeah, I'm probably responsible for growing quite a lot of channels and quite a lot of like smaller movements. But once they get established, you know, I take a step back and I stay out of it. And this is what I say to all patriot organizations. You know, the way it should be is everybody has their own lane. Don't get involved with anybody else's business. And then if you have a rotten apple in one, it's not going to affect the whole basket, if you know what I mean. And that's the way I always look at it. And that's why I don't really want to get involved. I'll help people out, help other groups out, but I don't want to be involved in their business. You know what I mean? You do what you do. If something goes wrong, that's on you. You know what I mean? I've done the best I can for you, you know. And like I always say to people, like there's some groups, whenever they get big, you know, they don't want any involvement with Freedom Dad because, you know, they're big enough to do it on their own now, you know what I mean, which is fair enough. And a lot of my mates don't like it because they don't like it where some people behave, you know what I mean, when they use Freedom Dad to get what they want, they build them up, and then they want to run off on their own. But that's just, I feel like a parent, and the kids are grown up and the way they go. All I ask is, you know, don't fuck it up. All right, don't mess it up. You know, that's all I ask. Sorry for swearing, but you know,
I know what you're saying, Freedom Dad, because I read an article the other day that I wrote back in, I think it was 2015, 2016, saying I can't wait for the new Green Arrow to come along so I can retire and go play poker. And here I am in 2026 thinking, come on, great societal take back. Hurry up and take over from me. I want to go and play computer games and relax. Freedom Dad.
But you know, this is what I say as well. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, I want a Freedom Dad to come along that doesn't have a criminal record. That's good living. You know what I mean? Doesn't have any skeletons in the cupboard. I want a young Bob to come along, a young Christian lad, a young Christian girl that's squeaky clean, you know, and do what I'm doing. But they're not there. There's nobody there.
You say that. I've got a past, but I'm luckier than you. I was never caught. Okay,
Yeah.
so it makes us the men that we are, Freedom Dad.
Yeah, 100%. You know, listen,
Well,
there's no angels. There's no angels coming down from heaven, and the men from the churches aren't coming in to do it right now. So you're left with
Yeah.
Freedom Dad, the bank robber. It's not my fault. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the Green Arrow
Mhm. And Mr.
And-
X and the
and Mr.
EBFD.
X. Yeah. Yeah, I love those guys. I've got to come around. Look, Freedom Dad, you do a lot of traveling, so I'm going to ask this outright. It must cost you a fortune. How
Yeah,
do people? I'm going to ask it, Freedom Dad. You
Yeah.
know, as you know, tried to help you in small ways every now and again whenever I can. Or if there's a cause in Ulster, I will donate where I can.
Yeah.
You know, how do people donate to you to help you with your travels and expenses? I know you don't want to talk about it. I hate talking about it,
Yeah.
but it's got to be done.
Yeah. Well, let me make it clear right now. I get no financial backing from any organization or any movement or any patriot sites or the Knights Templar or anything like that, you know, and you know, I'll make that clear. I'm not the kind of guy that I don't need to say these things, you know. I'm not going to swear on anybody's life and all the rest of it, but I don't get any financial backing. I have buy me a coffees, which really do help. But the thing is this is what you don't realize. It doesn't actually cost that much. It's 25 quid on the boat, 30 quid maximum on the boat. It's 18
25
quid.
quid is a lot of money to some people. I'm an old age pensioner. You and your, why aren't you fly? There was a time I'd only travel first class. Now get the thumb up.
Listen, I traveled 18 hours on a bus from Scotland to London once. Honestly,
I can
me and John Rankin. I'm sure John Rankin was there as well when we done that one. That was a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. But it's cheap. It's cheap. I travel as cheap as possible, and that's how I do it. And the other thing is, and this is nowhere to lie, wherever I land, I'm looked after. I'm fed, I'm watered, and I got a roof over my head. I don't have to pay for hotels.
So
you know.
So you've got a buy me a coffee over on your channel, have you?
Yeah.
That is it.
Right.
Buy me a coffee. All right, that's okay then. I'm sure if you ever need anything, you'd let us know and we'd rally around. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay, I feel a bit better knowing that. And hey, don't give me 18 hours on a bus. It once took me almost a year to sail to Hong Kong on a small boat. That was hellish.
You know, you're living the high life, so you're Hong Kong, you know what I mean?
I had to stop off in all these exotic ports.
What far right work were you doing over there? I'm not joking.
I was trying to do my bit for diversity. Oh, let's not talk about it. Let's buy me a Civ Nat Cabby said buy me a condom. Yeah, no condom. Buy non-white condoms. Put pins in all white condoms. Yeah, we need more babies. Come on, make a start. You're still a young man, Freedom Dad.
Oh, I know.
I know as well. I know. Okay. I'm trying to think if I've got any more questions. I'm bound to have forgotten, Freedom Dad, bound to have forgotten. Oh, yeah, I've lost my Ulster songs. That's a pity. I missed them. I'll have to arrange a new playlist. Won't go into the details. These things happen, Freedom Dad.
Yes.
Hey, wasn't the 12th a glorious day? Wasn't it the fabulous day? I really did. Seeing all those people on the streets. Oh, it was fantastic, Freedom Dad.
Yeah. Well, I done a video. I actually done a video about it. It was all white on the night. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah.
We've done a couple of videos. We call them racist videos, you know, amongst ourselves because that's how it comes across. But we're not, you know what I mean? It's like the one with the Northern Ireland tops being modeled by black men. You know, I done a video about that and we called that the racist video, you know what I mean? But it wasn't a racist video. We were just fucking pointing out it's a bit strange. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
You know, all these pictures of our Northern Ireland football top, and there's only one white guy out of I don't know how many was advertising it. It was just strange. And the other one was I got so many comments during the videos and after the videos of a lot of people in England and Scotland couldn't believe there were so many white people, and it wasn't.
I
like,
know, I know.
It was weird. Like I wasn't until after. It's not like it was something that struck me, and I was like, a couple of days later, I thought, that's mental. It must be really bad. It must be really bad in the mainland when people are noticing that, because to us, it's just, that's who we are. It's a white country, what the fuck do you expect? You know what I mean? So yeah, I done a video about that, and saying just basically that, you know what I mean? And it is something we need to pay attention to whenever people in the mainland are astonished of a white country being white. This is where we're at now, you know what I mean? And
I love
when you
that.
walk about Glasgow, I get it now, you know what I mean? I understand it, you know what I mean? I understand where it's come from, but it was a bit of a shock. So it was having so many people comment on all the white people.
I had an email yesterday, I think it was yesterday, from a female follower, and she asked about, she was scared about where she was living and worried about her safety, and a single parent, a divorcee with a grown-up child, a young man, in fact, and she's worried about his safety, and she has every right to be where she lives. And I was saying, well, if you're thinking of coming to Wales, regards house prices, yeah, by all means. But even where I am, it's now started to be occupied up a Welsh Valley, and there's nothing here. And I said, if I was going to go anywhere, I would go to Ulster.
Yeah.
At that age, they're still comparatively young. So if I was in my 30s or 40s, then I would be heading over to Ulster.
Yeah.
They need a good YouTuber over there. Apparently, their YouTuber's always swanning off to Glasgow.
I know. Don't. I got enough stick for that, so I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I said, go to Ulster, but that's what I mean. It was so. Oh, before I forget, Freedom Dad, you said something to me once about this. The government has to understand they shouldn't send these third world people to Ulster because something bad might happen to them.
Listen, yeah, bang on, 100%. You know,
I got to tell you this though, Freedom Dad, first.
Yeah.
The other day, I almost got in two separate confrontations. One with an Indian guy, and the other with a Pakistani guy. Two incidents. Now I can be explosive and volatile, yeah, and it was face-down situations, and the hatred in their eyes and my eyes. Two separate occasions, one-on-one. And it could have kicked off big time. Now, that could have been either fatal for one of us, maybe me, or with me winding up in jail. And this is what happens. Innocent people like me, because of the occupation of our country, are pushed into situations where we endanger our freedom and even our lives by confronting these enemies. And you told me that, Freedom Dad.
Well, it's like, I'm looking at it from, just being there and living there. And, there's two things that you need to remember. It's how we get put down by the government and the papers and the media and the left, the attacks. So our people can see that. So say about 50% of my people know that what I'm doing is the right thing. I'm doing it for the love of my country and all the rest of it. But there's a percentage there who do believe I'm far right and racist and just a horrible person, right? So when something really bad happens, there's going to be two things that are going to happen. The people who think I was far right and racist are going to realize that was right all along, and they're going to be angry at the government. They're going to be angry at the left. They're going to be angry at the media for what they've done, how they've lied to them, okay? And then the second thing that's going to happen if something bad happens to one of our children is there's going to be an explosion like you've never seen before. There's going to be families put out. There's going to be houses burnt. There's going to be men attacked, if not even worse, So I know the foreigners in my country are in danger because it just takes one bad egg in that lot to do something really horrific in my land for everything to go wrong for them all. I'm not saying they're all wrong. All I'm saying is that's where it's going to go, Like I say, it's the last time the paramilitaries weren't involved. The next time, I imagine they will be, because we are at the stage now where they've been forewarned. You know what I mean? We're doing the work. The Patriots are working hard. We're showing they were doing the videos. We're showing you Glasgow. We're showing you Rotherham, Leeds, Luton, all the rest of it, Oldham. We're showing like this is what's changing. This is the changes. You know what I mean? So with that, and then something horrific happening, the people will be really angry because if the bank robber's telling them, why has the government not done something about it? You know, that's the way they're going to be. They're going to be pissed off at everyone around them. You know what I mean? And that's going to come out on the streets, and innocent people will suffer because and those innocent people will be the migrants that the government have brought in. And that's what I say, you know, to the government. You're putting these people in danger, you know, and anybody thinking, any foreigners thinking about coming to Northern Ireland, my advice would be to think again. And it's not a threat. I am genuinely worried about the safety of any foreigners coming to Northern Ireland if something goes wrong at the hands of a foreigner. And that's just me being brutally honest, you know. And it is difficult because it's trying to get that message out without being threatening and saying, "Oh, if we're going to do it," it's not me, you know. I mean, this is my country. This is the men that live in my country, the men and women. And it's just the way it is.
Well,
and I'll just say another thing while I'm on this wee bit here as well. We have a lot of lefties that go on that the amount of women that have been unalived in Northern Ireland at the hands of Northern Ireland men. You know, it is quite. It's not the biggest in the world and all, as they try to say, but it is at a high level. You know, and for whatever reasons, I don't know the reason. You know, why that is. You know what I mean? Whether it's to do with the troubles, whether it's to do with the drink and drugs that people take because of the troubles and the mental health that came from the troubles, PTSD, complex. I'm not making excuses for domestic abuse, or definitely not making excuses for men unaliving women. But what I'm trying to say is the blueprint's already there, guys. You can see the violence; it's still there. You know what I mean? And you know, the writing's on the wall. You know, pardon the pun, but the writing is on the wall. You know,
I understand what you're saying about it wouldn't be good for those people coming into Ulster. But then again, we've also got to take into account innocent, if you like, British people, Ulster people, Welsh, Scots, Irish, who come into conflict with these people. They say something on social media posts and they're in prison for 3 years. And these people, these events wouldn't have happened had those people not been in our country in the first place.
Yeah.
I'm just going to switch the light on, Freedom Dad. It's dark here now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either that or my wife didn't pay the electric bill.
Yeah, you're right, John Rankin. You're right. Yeah.
Freedom Dad, before I forget, how about you send me an address and I will send you, free of charge, 10 of our Green Arrow badges for you to give out as you wish. Okay?
I will do.
Send me thing. They're very good.
Yes.
Union flags, so that should go down well. And it's got a green arrow, and you can say that's for the Fenians. Okay? Sell it to them that way.
Okay.
All right, so send me an address.
Okay, mate. We don't really use that word anymore, like, but yeah.
Oh, we're politically correct now, are we?
Yes, well, we're not. We're trying to move forward together.
What are they now then?
Did you not get the memo?
So they're not Tigs now either? Are they Tigs anymore?
No, they're Catholics. We're Protestants, and that's it.
All right then. Old habits die hard. It's like that time those Germans, my father was landed on Normandy's, you know, and years later the Germans came up valley. Why they come up our valley? And they came in our club, same age as my father. And my father was talking to the Germans. And my father said, last time I saw a German, he said, I shot him. Well, the German burst out laughing and they both got drunk as rats. It was a great day. Yeah. Let's hope that can happen with Catholic and Protestant.
Yeah, well, in fairness, the word Fenian does mean brave Irish warrior, translation. So, you know, I don't think it's that offensive to them. Window Man, he'll tell you, Window Man, is it offensive to you, mate? He's a good friend of mine from Southern Ireland. You know what I mean? So that's when I'm in doubt, I ask my community, you know what I mean? And they keep me right.
I bet you take some controlling as well.
No, I listen to my community.
Hey, I listen to the Irish girls. I don't want to cross them lot. I really don't want them.
Like, you're saying you got an email from this girl. I don't get any emails. Well, I get emails from media. I get emails for mostly media wanting to use my footage when I do lives. They want to bat off me, and I say no every time. When I done the Ballymena rats, when I covered the Ballymena rats, I was inundated with all Sky News, BBC News, all wanting me to sell my footage to them.
Well, perhaps, you know, being logical now, Freedom Dad, I can understand your reluctance to do it. But what is it? A guerrilla army lives off the land and lives off the enemy.
Yeah, well, we're starting to learn like that, but still, I couldn't do it. But yeah,
Okay.
we are changing our tactics a wee bit. So we are, to be honest with you, as far as media is concerned, and because they kept on writing fucking nonsense, you know what I mean? We were going to write something, get it right, you know what I mean? Get it right.
Absolutely. I'm trying to think if I've got anything else now. What are your plans for the rest of the evening, Freedom Dad?
I'm just going to chill. My mates away to the football. Celtic's playing Dundee tonight, and
Dundee.
so he's a Celtic man. So he is. He's a Catholic. He's away to watch Celtic. So hopefully they get beat so I can wind them up, but they're not going to get beat. Does anybody know the score? John Rankin, what's the score, mate? John Rankin. John will tell us the score shortly. So he'll throw it up in the chat. Still no each. Still no each.
Do they still play dominoes in Glasgow?
Yes, I was in a pub. When was I in a pub? Oh, Davey, we were in a pub. When was that? We were in a pub. Davey McClure's on the chat as well. I was in a pub in Glasgow. I can't remember what pub it was. Was it? Oh, it was the Grapes, a Rangers bar, and they were playing dominoes. Oh yeah, they play dominoes. Oh, they have domino leagues and everything. Yeah.
I missed that about Scotland because I was in the league in South Queensferry. That's just outside Edinburgh. Oh, boy, we loved chaps. We loved dominoes back in the day. Yeah, great.
Yeah, Glasgow's a very I don't know. It's gone very left. You know, you go into the town and that, and into the city and the bars. Man, I was in a bar. Was it last weekend? And I was in there for about half an hour, and I was already pretty drunk. You know, I mean, already been in a few bars and that, and I just looked up and there was a Palestine flag hanging from the ceiling. Couldn't make it up. Couldn't make it up, mate. I was at the Barrows. Here's one for you. I was at the Barrowlands. You've heard of the Barrowlands?
Yeah.
In Glasgow.
Yeah.
So it's it's a market on a. It's got all the stalls and all the foreigners and all the fakes and all everything and all that. And you walk with this guy. You'll be walking along. This guy will be like, fake tobacco, Braga. You know, everyone's see, it's classic Glasgow. But they actually had a Palestine stall, a Palestinian charity stall. So they did, selling all Palestine tops in Arabic and fucking all sorts of madness. You know what I mean? I've done a video, so I did. You know, but that's where we're at. That's where we're at. You know what I mean? To be fair, the Barrowlands is in, like, it's next to Parkhead, which is Celtic's football ground, and it's next to quite a lot of Celtic clubs, because there is a division between the Rangers and Celtic thing is a dividing factor in Glasgow, but it is very left wing, very left wing now. You know what I mean? Like I say, the changes. It's like people think I exaggerate. I genuinely am heartbroken. I am genuinely so sad to see what I see. You know, the shops. You know, all the foreign shops, and you know, just mosques and all sorts of madness that is just Glasgow. And this is what I say to people: if it can happen in Glasgow, Glasgow is the meanest city in Britain.
I know mean city.
Yeah,
I read the book No Mean City, The Razor King. Yeah, all about growing up.
I spent a lot of time in Glasgow. As you know, I got the 18 years in Glasgow. I was in some of the biggest jails and all the gangsters. You know, I've been coming here since a wee boy, and it's always been a very I've always said to my boys in Northern Ireland, listen, if you think we're tough, that's tough, you know, because like it's a different ball game completely. And like I say, if this can happen to Glasgow, it can happen to any city, and that's what I tell my guys in Belfast. Heads up, guys, pay attention. You know, things are changing.
I'm not going to ask that question, but it'll go off down a different path. And we'll be here all night. And nothing wrong with that. I enjoy your company, Freedom Dad. If there's anything else, so I'll start to wind the show down.
Yeah, no, mate, no, that's everything covered, man. It's good to come back on. Haven't been on for a while, and I've seen you've had problems with the channel, and it's not just you. As I'm saying, don't try not to take it personal, man. I'm getting so many YouTubers are telling me that they're not putting their videos out, and you know, all you got to like the best my advice would be just tell people to hit the like button, throw a comment down, share, make sure they're still subscribed, because you know, YouTube is stopping your videos going out, you know what I mean, at the end of the day. If I see stuff on the news or I see stuff getting thrown about, you know, and I want to understand it in layman's terms without any bullshit and not having to listen to fucking all the nonsense, I'll jump onto you and have a look and see what you say about it. Same with Dino being, you know, and that's, you know, so there's no reason. I know a good content creator when I see one. You're experienced. You've been doing this for a long time, so it's not you. It's definitely YouTube, mate. You know what I mean?
It is a long time, and is it? And time goes so fast. Freedom Dad, make sure you have some time for yourself. Make sure you have some time for yourself. Yeah, I mean that.
Yeah,
and I really hope you meet someone nice, someone really nice. And
I can't stay. I'm not meeting anybody anywhere. For fuck's sake, I can't stay in one place long enough. For fuck's sake, you know what I mean?
Find a nice traveling girl.
That would be ideal. Yeah, that would
a traveling girl, yeah, a nomad, someone who's used to the nomadic life. Get one of those caravans.
That would definitely work. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if anybody's out there who wants to travel with Freedom Dad, you know what I mean? Let Paul know. He'll vet you.
Be second-hand goods by the time we reach Freedom Dad.
No.
Okay.
Right, cheers, mate.
Okay. Don't forget.
Right, I'll jump on the chat if you're staying on. I'll jump on the chat.
Yeah, I'm going to be playing.
Say hello to the guys. All right.
I'll be staying on until say 9:15. I've got a lot. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll go as long as it takes, Freedom.
Okay, mate. Right. Stay safe, and I'll speak to you soon. And I'll get Jim to get in contact. I'll give Jim your number, right?
Yes, please.
All right.
And don't forget, send me your address for the badges. Okay.
Okay. As long as it's just the badges.
It'll be in the box. Don't worry about the ticket.
Right, mate. See you later. Take care. Right. Bye, mate. Bye.
No surrender. Okay, guys, that was Freedom Dad. He's magnificent, isn't he? One of the best. I tell you what, I couldn't do what he does, that's for sure. I really couldn't. He's got a good team around him by all accounts, but yeah, you need him. Yeah. Over in Glasgow. Boy, he does some travelling. I used to like going over on the ferry. What was it, Larne to Stranraer we used to get? Was it the Larne Stranraer ferry? I can't remember, my memory's shit. I used to like it though because the soldiers would order beer. We'd get out to sea. They'd get seasick, couldn't drink their beer, and us sailors would rush around drinking all their beer. It was great. Right. Okay, guys, we'll be going until 20:45, yeah? 15 minutes. Lady J, thank you for calling in. It's always great to see you. Look after Freedom Dad for us. And you, John, you look after him as well. Anybody else here? Logical Captain Kirk. I liked the original Star Trek. Absolutely brilliant. I don't know if I've got any songs lined up. Let's see what we got. Who knows? Oh.
Sy het alleen geloop in die stad se lig, 'n wêreld apart waar drome nie verrig. Hy het haar van oorkant die straat gesien, 'n liefde buite bereik, soos 'n verre visioen.
maar iets in haar oë het hy verstaan. 'n Vonk wat fluister, ek behoort aan jou voortaan. Tog het vrees hulle vas laat staan.
Bang om te wys, bang om op te gaan. 'n Liefde buite bereik in verskillende wêrelde. Maar iets tussen hulle het stadig ontvou. 'n Geheim bewaar, 'n versteekte vlam. In die skadu speel hulle dieselfde spel saam.
Sy dwaal deur die skare in die nag se lig. Haar hart vol pyn, maar het wys nie op haar gesig.
Hy volg stil weg, net 'n tree agteraan. Sy hart klop vinnig soos 'n lied wat wil ontstaan.
Maar iets in haar oë het hy verstaan. 'n Vonk wat fluister, ek behoort aan jou voortaan. Tog het vrees hulle vas laat staan.
Bang om te wys, bang om op te gaan. 'n Liefde buite bereik in verskillende wêrelde. Maar iets tussen hulle het stadig ontvou. 'n Geheim bewaar, 'n versteekte vlam. In die skadu speel hulle dieselfde spel saam.
Sy gee 'n tree vorentoe, 'n stil gebed.
Hy reik uit na haar sonder enige vrees meer.
En in daardie oomblik het hulle gevind
'n Liefde wat lank reeds losgebind. 'n Liefde buite bereik in verskillende wêrelde. Maar iets tussen hulle het stadig ontvou. 'n Geheim bewaar, 'n versteekte vlam. In die skadu speel hulle dieselfde spel saam. In die stad se lig het hulle hul pad gevind.
De liefde buite bereik, nou vir altyd verbind. October skies above the square, young voices filled the air. Books were raised instead of guns, hope had only just begun. The flags flew high with holes cut through, a nation's heart beat proud and true. No one dreamed those autumn leaves would fall with so much grief. The workers came, the students stood, neighbors gathered where they could. Cobbled streets became their walls, freedom echoed through the halls. Church bells carried every prayer, smoke and courage filled the air. For one brief week the world could see a people standing free. This is Hungary calling. Can anybody hear? The streets are filled with freedom, but the tanks are drawing near. If liberty has brothers, will somebody appear? This is Hungary calling. Can anybody hear? Before the dawn, the engines came, iron thunder, smoke and flame. Mothers held their children tight as Budapest became the night. Boys with bottles faced the steel, knowing every step was real. Some would never never leave those streets where freedom met defeat. This is Hungary calling. Can anybody hear? Our city's still resisting, but the end is drawing near. If freedom means tomorrow, then why is no one here? This is Hungary calling. Can anybody hear? Radio still burning with light. One last voice against the night. If the world can hear us now, do not let us stand alone. Static answered every plea. Silence crossed the sea. This is Hungary calling. The signal's growing weak. The bells are still remembering the names they cannot speak. A nation's voice was fading before the break of dawn. This is Hungary calling. The radio is Remember Budapest. Remember those who stood. Remember those who stood. Remember every promise that never crossed the flood. Oh, the leaves still fall in autumn. The Danube still rolls on. But somewhere, a lonely radio is calling still.
That's a great track, isn't it? Kev K57. I keep meaning to do a video about the Hungarian uprising. I think it lasted for 10 days before it was crushed when they sent the tanks in. Ah, there's Kirsty. Two green, oh, a green heart and a blue heart. One for me and one for Freedom Dad. That Freedom Dad, he's over here after our girls again, boys. You've got to watch him, I'm telling you. Kev K's got a playlist. I think it's called Humorous Playlist. And anyhow, I've randomized it. Let's see what he's put up for us. Is there enough talk of treason and sedition for tonight, boys? Enough talk of treason and sedition. That's Army boys.
Old Johnny said he'd serve with SAS. Done secret jobs no one could guess. Halo jumps in the pouring rain. One-man army behind enemy lines again. He swore he'd spent 6 months in the bush, living on courage, grit and mush. We all said, go on then, tell us, Reg. Truth was the only bush he'd found was between his missus's legs. Raise your pint and sing it loud. We're the old squad, we're bloody proud. Some tell truth and some tell lies. You can see it in their smiling eyes. Left, right, left, we'll laugh all night. Every war story grows by Friday night. Different cap badge, same old tune. See you next year at the reunion. Hey! Big Dave claimed he'd outrun death. Could tab all day without a breath. Fastest bloke in all brigade. So every Friday night he said, Monday morning, 5 to 8, PT start. started, he turned up late. Dodgy knee, staff,
Yeah.
doctor's note. Funny that it healed by lunchtime in the boat. Hey! Raise your pint and sing it loud. We're the old squad, we're bloody proud. Some tell truth and some tell lies. You can see it in their smiling eyes. Left, right, left, we'll laugh all night. Every war story grows by Friday night. Different cap badge, same old tune. See you next year at the reunion. Hey, ha, ha! There was a lad called Jimmy Smith. Said he'd never once been hit. Could shoot a flea from half a mile, blindfolded too, with perfect style. First day out upon the range, his target looked a little strange. Not one round inside the black, but he nearly shot the sergeant's Land Rover at the back. Hey! Raise your pint and sing it loud. We're the old squad, we're bloody proud. Some tell truth and some tell lies. You can see it in their smiling eyes. Left, right, left, we'll laugh all night. Every war story grows by Friday night. Different cap badge, same old tune. See you next year at the reunion. Here's to the cooks, the clerks, the tankies, the sappers and the signalers too. The medics, the drivers, the infantry lads, every one of the old crew. Years roll by, the hair goes grey, the knees complain a bit, but stick us all together for one Friday night. And we're 20 years old, talking absolute. Hey! Raise your pint and sing it loud. We're the old squad, we're bloody proud. Brothers, sisters, side by side, still got that old regimental pride. Laugh today, remember then. Here's to all our absent friends. One last song before we part. The army never leaves your heart. Hey!
That was good. What's next?
I can't
Before we play that, The Clash. What have I been listening to? I've been listening to, I don't know, old girl group. I'll Be Your Substitute. Have a look, guys, over my right shoulder on the left of your screen. Don't look at the pipes, they need polishing. I got sent a photograph of Miley wearing a Leeds t-shirt, a Leeds rugby shirt, drinking a pint. Yeah. She came past the house today. She was going daft with my wife, trying to get under the gate. But she was going up the mountain for a walk with her new owners. Anyhow, guys, look what I got. It's from the TV licensing people. They're going to come and see me. What did they say? Will you be in on the 12th of August? Let me check my calendar. No, that's the day when I meet Princess Kate. Yeah. She comes down to Newport for the day. We book an hotel room. Yeah, so I won't be in on the 12th. Well, it doesn't matter. It may not be on the 12th of August, they say now. It could be another day. I could be prosecuted if I'm caught watching, recording, or downloading TV programs illegally, or using the BBC iPlayer. Do I look retarded? Do I look like the kind of person who would watch BBC? It was Jeremy Vine who made me rip up my TV license years back. I owe him a favor. He saved me a fortune in money. Yeah. Tell us you don't need a TV license. Why should I tell them anything? I'm not obliged to by law. Look, never get frightened by these letters, okay? Never, ever be frightened by them, okay? All you do is, if you get a knock at the door, they've got no power of entry. As soon as they say, hello, they'll start off, are you so-and-so, so-and-so? Before you say anything, say, ask who's calling. And when they say, I'm from the TV licensing, you just say, no, thank you, and shut the door. Or if you're a crazy bastard like me, who knows how to handle themselves, you can have great fun with them. But I don't recommend it. Another good one is to, if they ring the doorbell and you've got a camera, talk to them and say, well, hold on, I've just got out the shower, I'm getting changed. Can you hold on a moment and get dressed? And then leave them standing there. Go have a cup of tea, and then come back, say, sorry, I forgot. Who were you from again? TV licensing? No, thank you. You answer no questions whatsoever. And what you do is then, you turn around, and you should have one of these machines handy. If I can turn that way. Don't look at the mess in the kitchen, guys. Oh, bit of a mess there. And there we go. Straight into the filing system. Straight into the filing system. That's the way to do it. Bet some of you've never even seen a Punch and Judy show, have you? That's the way to do it. Right. Let's get back then. We're going to play the back. Right. Oh, it's 10:02. I was going to close at 1:45. We'll go until 9, and then I really must go, guys. I've really got work to do for tomorrow morning. Got a busy day tomorrow.
Just arrived in Bangkok, threw my suitcase on the floor. Hit the cash machine for spending money, then I headed out the door. Got a pocket full of baht now, thought I'd have a beer. Found a lively little bar to start, then it all got rather queer. Oi, not my cup of tea, mate, that's not why I've flown. Point me where the pretty girls are, leave the rest alone. Take me where the music's playing, where the smiles are bright. I've only just got here, boys, let's have a proper night. Jumped a bus to Pattaya, walking street aglow. Neon signs and pounding music everywhere to go. Every doorway full of laughter, every bar alive. Thought I'd landed paradise, what a place to arrive. Oi, not my cup of tea, mate, that's not why I've flown. Point me where the pretty girls are, leave the rest alone. Take me where the music's playing, where the smiles are bright. I've only just got here, boys, let's have a proper night. But a lovely little lady, back to mine we flew. Everything was going nicely, just like dreams come true. Then I nipped into the bathroom, only got a flash. Came back out, the room was empty. She disappeared with all my cash. Passport still beside me, thank the Lord for that. But she cleaned out every pocket now, imagine, fancy that. You live and learn, boys, every holiday's a class. Trust your heart if you must, but never trust your stash. Bangkok taught me one good lesson, one I'll never miss. Hide your money in your socks before you chase a kiss.
Oh.
Well, scrolling at midnight, eyes turning square. Your memes keep multiplying everywhere. You sent me a gif of a screaming raccoon, then asked if I saw it, dude. It's been 2 seconds, cool. You comment LOL on my lunch and my shoes. React to my dog like he's breaking the news. My phone's overheating, my thumb's got a cramp. You're less like a friend and more like an app. A ping, ping, ding, ding, there it goes again. Ding, 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 there it goes again. My screen lights up like it owes you rent. I tried to be nice, but I'm cracking at the seams. Now I'm begging in caps like haunting your dreams. Unfriend me, please, let me breathe. Cut the cord, set my timeline free. Mute won't work, block feels mean, but you're living rent free on my tiny screen. Unfriend me, please, pretty please. You're buzzing around my head like caffeinated bees. One more hey, and I might scream. Unfriend me, please, let me breathe. You tag me in photos where I wasn't there. A blurry left elbow, yeah, thanks for the share. You sent me a quiz, what soup are you? I got clam chowder, now I'm questioning truth. Your status says cryptic, your playlist says pain. Your horoscope blame me for seasonal rain. You type out we need to talk, then disappear. That's emotional buffering and I'm out of here. Ping, ping, ding, ding, my sanity bends. You could post from 2010. That's ancient history, digital crime. Put down the scroll and step away from my timeline. Unfriend me, please, let me breathe. Cut the cord, set my timeline free. Mute won't work, block feels mean, but you're living rent free on my tiny screen. Unfriend me, please, pretty please. You buzz around my head like caffeinated bees. One more hey, now my scream. Unfriend me, please, let me breathe. I don't hate you, I swear that's true. I just need less notification. You no more pokes, no more chains, no more saying this to 10 friends pain. I wish you joy, I wish you peace, I wish you Wi-Fi, sweet relief, but some are far away from me, like page 7 of my memories. Unfriend me, please, let me breathe. Cut the cord, set my timeline free. Mute won't work, block feels mean, but you're living rent free on my tiny screen. Unfriend me, please, pretty please. You buzz around my head like caffeinated bees. One more hey, and I might scream. Unfriend me, please, let me breathe. Click, click, gone. Now my phone feels calm. Click, click, sweet release. Unfriend me, please, let me breathe. My name was that.
I like this song, but it's time to end the show. Guys, tomorrow, live stream. There might be one at 9 o'clock, but I doubt it. I really, really, really do have something to do tomorrow morning. I really do. And if it's not a live stream tomorrow morning, there will be one Wednesday morning. I'll try to do a live stream tomorrow, but it all depends. Might be on my mobile, out and about. We haven't been out and about for a while, have we? Kirsty, Green Arts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Thank you, Ellen. Thank you to Barasti. Love your comments that you leave. Don't forget, if you watch any of our videos, guys, as well as leaving a like, if you're on a mobile, hype, leave a comment. They all help, and believe it or not, I like to read them. I really do. I won't, John. And you make sure Freedom Dad gives you a badge, okay? Yeah. Lily. I've Mint Nightclub, Paul and Miss Morris. See you soon. Love you. Oh, my little redhead. My little redhead. Anyhow, here's a chance to see Kev K57's outro that he done for us. Okay, guys, what do we always say? Stay strong, stay safe. Aim high, vote low, restore Britain. You've been listening to Paul Morris, The Green Arrow. Here's our outro song. Here it is, guys. Ta-da! The Green Arrow Show. Let's play it and see what it sounds like.
Across the valley.
From Blaenau, Wales.
Thanks for tuning in today. Until we meet again.
Farewell. Wales.
And following seas,
Steady as she goes.
Safe journey home.
This has been
the Green Arrow Show.
from Blaina, Wales.
Until next time.
Goodbye for now.
Thanks for tuning in, folks. It's been a pleasure having you aboard. Until next time, take care of yourselves, fair winds, and goodbye for now.